Boom, basic hand position. Thank you for clicking on the new video and welcome back to the Lean Life series episode 2. And in today's video we're going to talk about how to track the macros we calculated in episode 1 in an app, for example MyFitnesspal, because that is the app that I use and I feel comfortable with. There are other ones out there like Yazio or something like LifeSum, I don't know what they're called. You can use any app you want to, but I'm going to demonstrate it on MyFitnesspal. But before we're going to do that, I'm going to show you the physique on Monday of this week earlier and how it looked like. It will be up on the screen now. So that was the physique, and yeah, on the day itself I weighed in really low at 79.2, but that was because I slept in like really late on the day and I ate really early on the night before, so it wasn't like really accurate. Also, normally I would always track my everything, like my weight, my lifts and whatever on the Notes app on my Mac, but now I find a really cool app. It's called Happy Scale. I'm gonna put like a screenshot up here, and basically it's just an app to track your weight, but the cool thing about it is that it tells you your like average on a daily of your weight and how much you lose on the average per week. So you will see it on the screenshot. It would say, for example, on the 8th of May, it was my weigh-in on the morning itself was 79.6, but on average it would have been a 79.5, and I lost on an average per week I lost 0.9 kg. So that's pretty cool. The app's really helpful. If you use it, if you want, you can just be old school and write it on a book or something, but I use this from now on. And yeah, so for this week's macros didn't change. I still don't do any cardio. I'm eating 2,600 calories, 180 grams protein, 80 grams of fat and 290 grams of carbs. Starting next week I will probably start doing cardio, but like really less, because the thing with cardio is you don't want to do like 5 sessions a week straight from the first week, because your body will get used to it and accustomed to it. So later on in your prep it will be even harder to lose weight. So want to leave yourself some room with your cardio regimen for the last few weeks, where you really hammer out like 5-6 sessions each, like 40 minutes long, I don't know, and want to be a bit preservative in the beginning. So probably next week I will just do maybe 3 sessions, 10 minutes each, and then from there on, all the weeks later, we'll always follow up with an increase of energy expenditure and just here and there, just a drop in calories. Because what I realized over the last years when I dieted down was I decreased my food too fast, leading me to binge eating, like being really grumpy, and I don't know. So I wanted this time, I really want to make sure that I diet on as much calories as possible while increasing energy expenditure over the time. So we have a feast of a breakfast going on today because we slept in a little, so I need to make up the calories for the usual breakfast. So 4 pieces of bread instead, still 2 eggs, some spinach, but then we got some fresh oranges, the smoothie as always on deck. Of course got the coffee. coming to the informative part of this video, which will conclude the topic about how to track your food intake using MyFitnessPal. I know there are a lot of different apps out there, like I said in the beginning, Yazio or LiveSum. I used them before as well, but I think MyFitnessPal is just the most convenient one and the one that is the most intuitive. So I'm gonna explain it on this example. So obviously, if you want to track your food, you need a food scale. And I would recommend to spend a few extra bucks into the food scale, because there are a lot of cheap ones out there, but maybe they won't be that accurate, or they break really fast, and it will be really stupid if the scale would say, I don't know, it's like 100 grams when in reality it will be 120 grams. So first of all, get a food scale. And coming to the topic, what will happen if you can't weigh out your food? That's what like the fitness community calls eyeballing. That means that you would just estimate how much the food items would weigh. This is really hard in the beginning because you don't know how much, like for example, 100 grams of cooked rice look like. So the eyeballing will be probably something that you can do in the future once you actually weigh out your food by yourself. For example, I weighed out, I don't know, 1,000,000 times how much like 20 grams of chicken is and how much 100 grams of rice is, or how much broccoli that is. So I could just like estimate how much that was and put it into MyFitnessPal. So keep that in mind if you cannot estimate your food. So just download the app and don't bother putting in all the information like your weight and like that it wants to calculate how much calories and macros you should eat, because you can't probably put everything into it if you don't have the premium account. I'm going to show it to you here, because if you would just skip the whole process of putting in your information, you can just click on more, and then you could click on goals, and then you could click on nutrition goals, like it says calorie, carbs, protein and fat goals. And the thing here is you could put in a calorie number, but then it's like a percentage-based macros, so it might not add up exactly to the macros that you calculated. So don't bother putting anything in. It will say like everything will say 0, but it's perfectly fine. It will still work. You will see later on. So another thing that's really helpful is go to, again, more, settings, diary settings, and then you click enable use multi-add by default. That means when you go into the diary function, you can just put in several things, and it's not like you have to click one, take it in, and then go back inside. You will see again later why this is useful. So now we set up the app and you are ready to go to track your food. I'm gonna do this by an example of my breakfast today. So what you want to do is you click on diary, and there you will see on the top it says today, so you will make sure that you're on the right day. And then it says calories remaining. You will see go, that will be what you put in the app, so what the app would have told you to eat, minus food, that is everything you already tracked. And then you could in exercise as well, like the app tells you, you could put in the app like I did 40 minutes of weight training, and then it tells you like the remaining, how much you have remaining left to eat for today. Don't bother any of these numbers, since you're not going to put in anything that the app recommends. I will always say 0, and when you, for example, eat 100 calories, it will say you're minus 100, but it doesn't matter because you know, okay, I ate 100 calories. Once you're ready to put in your first food, you can just press add food, and then you will see history. Once you use the app, it will always show the food items you ate last on the top of the history. This is pretty useful because you will probably eat a lot of stuff like several times, so it will just show up there like the most recent ones. So the more you use the app, the easier it gets to use and the more helpful it is for your nutrition. If you use it for the first time, just press search for food, and then you could just type in whatever you ate. For example, if I ate today morning I ate some eggs, just type in eggs and then click search. And then you will see something where the food item has like a little green tick. That is when the food item is actually verified, either by a lot of users that use it as well, or by some, I don't know, I think MyFitnessPal does it for themselves as well. And so you just click it, and then you come into the food item itself, and it will tell you how much calories it has, how much carbs, fat and protein it has. And then it's really important to always choose the right serving size. Since you weighed out your food, you would just see serving size. You could click that on the egg and it will tell you there's like medium, extra large, small. You could choose it in grams if you do like, I don't know, maybe egg whites from a package. So I'm just gonna select one medium egg, press the tick as well again, and then you see number of servings, and I ate 2, so just put in 2, again tick everything, put it in, and then you would see on the bottom it would say add one because we chose one food item now. And then you can just do it with all the food items you had. So you would delete the eggs, and then I ate as well some protein toast. So I would just put it in. In German it's Eiweißbrot. And as you can see, the first hit in my history, it says Eiweißbrot is one I used. So I already have it in my history, I could just click it. Or since I know I already had two pieces, you could just press on the little small circle and I quick select it. You would do this for all your food items, and once that is done, you just click on the bottom, the add. Probably the most handy feature in this app is the barcode scan. So you would just click add food, and then if it is something that you just bought at the supermarket, you could just click the barcode little icon, and then it will open up your camera. You just scan the food item and it will immediately pop up. Be sure to check that it is the right item, because sometimes it's not working properly. If the food item isn't in the database, you could put in this for yourself, but this is a bit complicated, and I don't do that like very often. There's so many data now since the app is like up for so long that you should find the food item you're looking for, but it's still super handy and pretty easy to use the barcode all the time, and it works like 99.9% of the time. Another cool function MyFitnessPal has is that once you clicked a food item, you could scroll down and it says add frequently paired food. So for example, a lot of times I eat my eggs, it's with the protein toast. So it would just tell me in the bottom, I just quick select the ones I used last time. So it would tell you like if I ate 2 pieces of toast last time, it would tell me the same, and you should just like click on it, or you could either quick select it. Another cool feature MyFitnessPal has is that you can just add yesterday's lunch or breakfast or whatever. So it would just tell how many calories it is in the screen itself, and you just could swipe right and it says add, and it would add exactly the same meal you had the day before. If you eat the same meals over and over again, it just gets pretty fast putting in the same meals every single day. So in this example, I just put my whole breakfast into it. You will see on the top it says obviously goal 0 and then food 452. That is the amount of calories I already ate. So that is the calorie number, and once you scroll down to the bottom of the page, it will say nutrition. Just click on that and then you will see calories, nutrients and macros. You can just like check those 3 out. It just gives you a general idea of how much you ate, but the thing I use the most is the nutrients, because it will tell you how much protein you had, how much carbs you had, and how much fat you had. So obviously, since we didn't put in a goal or like a goal, since we didn't put in a goal, it will always say total, and then left is a minus number because it can't subtract something from it. So it doesn't matter if you are using the total number or the left number, but you will see how much macros you ate. So this is it, guys. I hope you found this informative. This was on the example of MyFitnessPal on how to track your food. Like I said, you can use any app you want to. If you're still confused on how to use the app, just feel free to comment down below. I would gladly help you with any questions. Otherwise, this concludes the Lean Life series episode 2. I hope you found this informative and entertaining, and otherwise I will see you in the next one.